Why do women rarely approach men? Unfortunately, it's not necessarily that she doesn't like you. She may actually secretly be sitting there hoping you'll approach her. She'll be like giving you the look or all these little subtle signs that men realistically don't pick up on. Because realistically, why would you? Because if you pick up on signs that actually aren't there, the consequences are dire. And I'm not going to justify any of these. I do think nowadays women should be approaching men. And this is something we should change. But it doesn't matter what I want. It's not the reality. Women are taught from a young age that we're chosen. We don't get to choose. Basically, our options are all spread out in front of us, and then we pick the best one. Which is kind of strange to me, because if we approach the men that we do like, the chances of us ending up getting exactly what we want is significantly higher. Because the type of man we may be genuinely attracted to may not be the type of guy that wants to ask us out. We're taught that we're the prize, we're the stuffed animal sitting on the carnival shelf, and all the men play and the winner gets us kind of thing. And if we initiate, it disrupts that entire thing. Also, fear of rejection hits us differently. If you think about the amount of rejection men have to face on a constant basis, it's a lot more than us ladies have to deal with. And even then, when we deal with rejection, it's usually a lot more calm and easygoing than the type of rejection men face. And because we're not used to it, we're less likely to do things to put us in the position where we could get rejected. Also, I absolutely hate this one, but a lot of women see other women as desperate if they're the ones making the first move. I'm seeing more and more videos of women calling out other women for proposing to their longtime boyfriend, or doing something extravagant for him, or making the first move in general, or overall initiating. And I think that peer pressure has a very deep impact on these women. Also, there's a portrayal that she's low value because she's the one doing the work, which is absolutely ridiculous. I know so many women who have done the initiating, and they're the furthest thing from being low quality women. But overall, the social risk of doing that sometimes isn't worth it to a woman. She doesn't want to be seen as that. Next, a lot of women get approached fairly often. You don't have to be like a model level woman to receive men asking you out or saying sweet things to you. So a lot of women perceive that as, oh, I already have people approaching me, so I'm responsible for the filtering rather than taking action on the man I actually want. I'm going to wait for him to approach me first, which again I think is a big disservice to women, because that man may not reach out for a variety of very valid reasons. A woman might unfortunately see a man that's not going to approach her as less valuable, because women want status and security, so she sees you as less confident if you don't approach her, even though maybe you're not interested in her at the moment, but if she were to initiate, you would be open-minded to actually going out on a date, realize how compatible and perfect you guys are for each other, and then at that point, it's history. Which I also hate that one, because oftentimes the men who are very confident and are not afraid to approach, some of them may not have the best intentions for her. So those are the types of guys that might be approaching her a little bit more often. And then the results are bad. And then she gets upset with all men instead of realizing it's the men that are approaching her that's the problem. And she may need to change how she presents herself, how she reacts to certain things, and who she says yes to overall. Some women genuinely believe if they approach, it makes them look like a HOE rather than wife material. Even if she's just coming up and being like, hey, you want to go get a coffee or breakfast or lunch, nothing to do with any of that. Some women have painted this picture that women who do that, who initiate, who make the first move, are not only desperate, but are the gardening tool. Also, I think deep down, some women are afraid that if they approach you and get rejected, that you're going to treat them the way they treat men that they reject, which is ew, or with insults, then no, I'm not really interested. I have a boyfriend. No, thank you. Even though from my experience, men tend to reject women very calmly and gently because they genuinely don't want to hurt her feelings. And then women also think that their subtle tactics of getting you to approach are enough. So the little bits of eye contact here and there, maybe a little smirk, her being around you a little bit more than she normally would have been, even though you don't notice any of these things because she's just doing regular human behavior for the most part. And let's be real here, if you're the type of guy that thinks every woman's flirting with you, women make fun of you and laugh about that too. So it's a no-win situation. So should you approach women? If you feel comfortable, if the situation seems comfortable, if you're in a public area or a space where she may not feel like in danger. And I hate so much that men are still in the position where they do have to approach. Otherwise, you're probably going to be single long term. Try to pay attention to her body language. She may make it clear that she's into you by little things. But I mean, it also could be that she's being nice and she's being friendly. Some of us ladies who are a little bit more bubbly get accused of flirting all the time when we're not. We're just being nice. But hopefully that woman that you think might like you is genuinely a nice person. And if she does reject you, she does it nicely. But yeah, in general, women can approach, but they often choose not to, and those are the reasons why.